Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. In today's show, we're going to break down some new reports coming up around Daniel Jones. Last night they came out. We put a short out on the channel. A lot of you guys watched that. Cool, we got that out for you guys. But Pat Leonard of the New York Daily News is reporting that not only does Daniel Jones want $45 million per year, he's reporting he wants more than $45 million per year. He said Daniel Jones's reps are seeking more than $45 million per year as the Giants work daily on a new deal, league sources tell him. Jones and Daniel Jones, Jones's representation, Jones and Joe Schoen have been meeting at the NFL Combine every single day this week. And according to Jordan Renan, it sounds like a deal could be coming closer. He said he has heard in recent days there's been progress between Daniel Jones and the Giants. Getting something done by Tuesday, which is the deadline to use the franchise tag, doesn't seem unreasonable. It sounds as if there will be a 4 at the front of the annual salary, which is a lot. And it kind of goes with what Pat Leonard said. Even Field Yates of ESPN says it sounds like Daniel Jones could become the 9th quarterback ever to earn an annual salary of at least $40 million. And look, there was reports that came out 2 weeks ago that said Jones wanted $45 million. Then he left CAA and he went to Athletes First. Then the Carton Show on FS1 said that's not true. Well, now it sounded like it wasn't true because he wants more, not less, not 45, more than $45 million. Ian Rappaport on NFL Network said this about the contract negotiations. He said, the Giants and Daniel Jones's new agents are hard at work focusing on a new deal, and there appears to be a glimmer of hope, which tells me that Joe Schoen is going to sign on or at least had thoughts about paying him 45 or 40, at least $40 million per year. We're going to continue to break this down in today's show, but I want to have the real one sound off in the comment section. Daniel Jones has been a hot topic, and a lot of people say pay him whatever just to get him back, or let him go, or pay him a reasonable salary. Right now, I want to ask this question, though. Would you, yes, you watching right now, pay Daniel Jones $40 million per year? Take the seat of Joe Schoen, the Giants general manager. Let me know. Type Y for yes, or type N for no. I'll let you know my comments in a second. If you get hit with that YouTube ad break, scroll on down, and this will be the pinned comment, and let me know. There is not a chance in the world that I would pay Daniel Jones not only more than $40 million, but I am not paying him anywhere close to more than $45 million per year. There's tiers of quarterbacks in the NFL. And when you look at the highest paid QBs in the NFL, there's tier 1 guys like Patrick Mahomes, or you got a guy like Joe Burrow who's not even on this list, and Josh Allen. Then you got some tier 2 guys, and Aaron Rodgers, and Russell Wilson used to be there. Kyler Murray was once there, but that looks like a terrible contract right now. Deshaun Watson was once a tier 2 QB, but then a lot of stuff happened. He didn't play that good for the Cleveland Browns. Dak Prescott, he may be tier 2. Matt Stafford, Kirk Cousins. Daniel Jones, in my opinion, does not deserve $45 million. That would make him paid just as much as Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes has already won 2 Super Bowls. It is ridiculous that Jones would even think about that. And I don't want to assassinate the guy's character right now, but it just doesn't make much sense to me how you can utter the words that you're worth as much as Patrick Mahomes. Ryan Dunleavy, who was the first person to report a couple weeks ago that Jones wanted $45 million per year. He said, what's a potential compromise for Daniel Jones and the Giants? Alvin Kamara has a 5-year, $75 million deal, which is $15 million per year. He says, but it's much less than that without a non-guaranteed inflated $27 million in year 5. So the New York Giants could give Daniel Jones $40 million per year without actually doing that. He says it won't be $45 to $48 million per year. This shows you that the contract structure is going to be way more important in this situation than actually just the numbers that come out when you get that push notification from Twitter or from your boys over here at Giants Now by Chat Sports. And this is a way that the Giants and Joe Schoen could try to lower that actual number while it appears higher. Structure is going to be very important in this deal. Let's just play a little bit of capology right here. $40 million per year on the salary cap is 17.7% of the 2023 salary cap. That's a lot of money. And if you have a quarterback that's elite, look, I think it's fair to say that you're worth $17.7 million. It's the hardest position in all of sports and arguably the most important position in all of sports. But you have to ask yourself, with 83% of your cap, can you build around Daniel Jones an effective roster that can help him win a Super Bowl? And you have to take into effect all the dead cap you already have. I think the more likely option is the franchise tag for Daniel Jones, which would be $32.4 million. The Giants, if they don't think Jones is worth $40 million, to be quite frank, if they don't think he's worth more than $32.4 million, they should franchise tag him. And they have a couple different options as well. They could use the franchise tag, or they could use the transition tag, which is $29.5 million for 1 year, but it allows Daniel Jones to go out and negotiate with other teams. And if he signs with another team, they would lose him for nothing. And then you have the non-exclusive franchise tag, which pays you as much as the franchise tag, that $32.4 million, but it also allows Jones to go out and negotiate with other teams like the transition tag. But the difference is in the non-exclusive tag, if a team comes to an agreement and Daniel Jones signs with said team, the Giants, one, have a chance to match that offer, or two, they can let him sign with that other team, and the Giants get back 2 first-round picks. So you got a couple of different options on what you want to do, but if you listen to what Joe Schoen had to say at the NFL Combine when he was speaking to the media, he said this. He said, if you have to franchise tag Daniel, I don't think that's best for the organization or Daniel Jones. And it's not, because when you have a hard cap and a dead cap hit of $32.4 million, you can't lower that cap hit in the franchise tag. Whereas if you paid Daniel Jones, let's say $65 million over 2 years, you could lower the cap hit and maybe not make that second year guaranteed, which could lower the cap hit, but place a higher cap hit in the second year. A whole bunch of nerd stuff. But all I'm trying to say is there's a lot of different ways Joe Schoen could go with this. He could use the franchise tag, transition tag, non-exclusive tag, or he could just flat out re-sign him. What would you do? I want to gauge the audience right now. Would you place the franchise tag on Daniel Jones for $32 million? Would you use the transition tag for $29 million, but let him maybe go sign with another team? Or would you use the non-exclusive tag, which is also $32 million, but you could get 2 first-round picks back if he signs somewhere else? Or would you just re-sign him and pay him $45 million per year? You see the options on screen. Type F for franchise tag, T for transition tag, NE for the non-exclusive tag, or R for re-sign. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. I'm going to give you some more thoughts, some more news and stats coming up about Daniel Jones. But first, I got to hook you guys up with an awesome deal that our proud sportsbook partner is offering right now. BetUS, the best sportsbook partner in the game. Go to chatsports.com/bet and use the promo code chat125 for a 125% deposit bonus. So when you sign up with this link and use this promo code of chat125, put $100 into your account. They'll match that with a 125% deposit bonus. You got a lot of stuff you can bet on right now. Spring training, baseball's back. The NBA season is heating up. And before you know it, the NFL season will be here. Use our proud sportsbook partner. Promise you, you'll make some money. We've got your game. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code chat125. If the reports are true that Daniel Jones wants at minimum $40 million, but may want $45 million plus, you have to franchise tag him. That's the move, no doubt about it. And honestly, I wouldn't even be opposed to franchise tagging him this year and then maybe even franchise tagging him next year where that money would inevitably go up. But it's because I need to see more from Daniel Jones. I still feel like I haven't seen him in an offense where he doesn't have to do so much. And you could use this in an advantage if you're Daniel Jones. You haven't had an offensive line. You haven't had a receiving core. But you also really, outside of this year, were never really ever to elevate anybody around your offense. He did that this year with guys like Isaiah Hodgins and Richie James. But I want to see more before I commit $40 to $45 million per year. When you look at what Jones has done this year and in this past couple of years and really his whole entire career, he has gotten better year in and year out. And I think that's directly reflected in his completion percentage. Went from 61.9% his rookie year to 62.5, then 64.3, then 67. And also you can see he's cut down on the turnovers. So he's being more efficient and he's making less mistakes. 12 interceptions, 10 interceptions, 7 interceptions, then 5. If you also look at the fumbles lost stat, that also goes down. But the touchdowns really just haven't been that high outside of his rookie year. 15 touchdowns this year. But I would be remiss if I didn't bring up how good of a running quarterback and playmaker Daniel Jones is with his legs as well. 64 carries this year, over 700 yards, over 10 yards per pop. He rushed for 7 first downs in the playoff game against the Minnesota Vikings. Another 7 touchdowns there. So you really get 22 TDs from Daniel Jones. What I'm trying to say is Daniel Jones is a good quarterback. I don't want that to be misconstrued. Is he top 5? No. Is he top 10? Maybe you could make the case. I think he's top 15. Anywhere from 10 to 15, anyone could make a case for a lot of those guys. But paying him $45 million per year is a decision that Joe Schoen is going to have to make, and it will be a decision, and this contract will tell the story of Joe Schoen's tenure in New York. What do I mean by that? Joe Schoen re-signs Daniel Jones. 2 things are going to happen. You're going to sign him for a lot of money, and he's not going to play well. Joe Schoen's going to look bad, and he might get fired for it. Daniel Jones signs. He plays really well. He wins a lot of games for the Giants. Joe Schoen looks like the smartest man in the NFL, and he's going to have a spot as the Giants general manager for a really long time. In year 2 of his career as a general manager for New York, he's going to have to make a decision that is going to tell the entire story of his time as the Giants general manager. I hope he can sleep at night when he makes this decision because, man, oh, man, is it going to tell whether he has a job in the Big Apple in 3 or 4 years. I want to ask this question before we bounce on out of here because we were kind of having a debate in the Chat Sports studios. Where does Daniel Jones rank as a quarterback in the NFL? I'll give my answer on a show. I'll do it on the live show on Monday. I'll come up with my quarterback rankings 1 through 32. I'll put it on the live show, but I want to hear from you right now. Rank them 1 to 32. Where does Daniel Jones stack up against the NFL? I appreciate everybody for tuning into today's show. Hope you're having a good Friday. Appreciate you taking time out of your day to talk some ball with us over here at Chat Sports and Giants Now. Enjoy your guys' weekend. We'll see you tomorrow with another video.